Be
Be the
the
difference.
difference. Uncle, good morning.
How about you say?
Yes, Uncle.
It's raining this morning.
Yes, I just went out and realized,
Yeah.
when we are in
Um,
here, we don't feel it at all.
yeah. But so I just want to remind you that let's let you know that I'm having a good time this morning.
Okay, I get it. I get the whole idea that you want to tease me. Actually, when I was coming to work, the weather changed. And I realized, no, it was going to rain. So I said, wow, oh my goodness. Anyway, it is well.
Oh, but no, it's absolutely well. Absolutely well. Um, oh, by the way, I was expecting you to turn the tables on Darrow when he was trying to corner you on dollars. You should have asked him to declare his own assets and how much he has in dollars. Tomorrow, ask him.
I would ask him. Yes, tomorrow I'd ask him.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because how can you ask questions like that in the morning? Well, Florence and I have, over the 40 years that we have been married, always kept an open home where everyone is welcome. You come whenever you like, you stay however long you want, and you do whatever you like. You want something to eat, go to the kitchen and serve yourself. You want to spend the night, go and sleep. It's your home once you come through the gate. That is the kind of home I have always wanted. And God being so good, I married a woman who was better at hospitality than I could ever be.
Okay.
Over the years, our home has become a refuge for many people. And every now and then, they come and spend a few days and return to their own homes. Some of them have become like our own children. In some cases, we became fully responsible for them, financially and economically. Among those who became a regular part of our household is a young lady who, for the purposes of this presentation, I will call simply Sweetie. Sweetie came into our lives when she was in her teens, and for 10 years was a regular feature in our home. And then she left suddenly. I assumed that maybe the situation in her original home had changed, and so she felt more comfortable going back to her origins. But her departure was so abrupt, and she cut herself off so completely that I could not shake off the feeling that something might have gone wrong somewhere along the line. I had no way of knowing what it could be. About 5 years later, I ran into her at a church I had gone to preaching. I did not know it was a church. She came to see me after the service as I was getting into my car and said, "Dad, I want to come back home." I found her statement puzzling, and so I said, "You want to come back home? Did anyone drive you out?" She said, "Nobody drove me out, but I want to come back now." I said, "You cannot come back until I know why you left in the first place." She said, Auntie D in the neighborhood said she came to the house and overheard you and Mama saying some negative things about me. She told me that you did not love me as much as I thought you did, and that if I had somewhere to go, I should leave. And that is why I left.
Hey.
Winston, the Auntie D she was talking about was a woman in the neighborhood who virtually depended on us for the upkeep of her family. And although she was a regular in our house, I had never held a conversation with her beyond, "How are you and how are your children?" I asked Sweetie, "Did Auntie D ever give you something to eat?" She said, "No." "Did she ever pay your fees?" Sweetie said, "No." "Did Auntie D open her home to you even for one day?" Sweetie said, "No." "Did Auntie D ever support you in any way?" Sweetie said, "No, she didn't." I said, "And when this woman who has made no investment in your life, this woman who has made no sacrifice for you, told you that Florence and I, who have been taking care of you since you were 15, did not love you, you believed her and acted on her words, Sweetie hung her head. Listen, life has taught me a lot of painful lessons. One of those lessons is that no matter how loving and caring you are to someone, another person who has no relevance whatsoever can make that person you love and care for believe that you hate him or her. It is just human nature. Recently, a passage of scripture caught my attention that showed me that this is just another aspect of human nature. And it has been like that since Adam and Eve. You remember how the serpent got Eve to eat the forbidden fruit?
Sure.
Let's take another look at the incident. God created this beautiful garden, Eden, and put Adam and Eve into it just to enjoy the abundance and the rich variety and the beauty for free. The only condition was not to touch one particular tree. The Bible tells us that that tree was pleasing to the eye and was good for food. That is in Genesis chapter 3. But when you read Genesis chapter 2, you discover that so were all the other trees in the garden. They were all pleasing to the eye and good for food. Now, here comes the serpent. Serpent had no garden to give Eve. Serpent did not look out for the interests of Eve every day as God did. And yet, when serpent told Eve that the one who cared for her did not have her best interest at heart, and that was why he had forbidden she and Adam from touching the tree, Eve believed him and rebelled against God and went further to get her husband to join her in the great disobedience. The result of Eve listening to the serpent and disobeying God was disastrous. And so is every case in which someone walks away from the one who cares deeply about him or her just because another person who has no stake in their life gave them some apple. It never ends well. It may be human nature to want to listen to those who deceive us, it may be human nature to want to listen to those who deceive us about those who care for us. But it is something we need to learn to overcome, or we'll find ourselves in trouble when we should have been enjoying bliss. 2 months ago, I came upon a young lady who was very bitter. Her issue, she was in a relationship with this caring and thoughtful young man who adored her. Winston, like you, the way you adore your husband and your wife. She introduced him to her friend, and her friend later brought her information of how much of a womanizer this boy is supposed to be. Her friend told her that if she was her, she would sack the boy and cut him out of her life completely. The lady listened to her friend and cut the boy off, breaking his heart into 1,000 pieces. And listen, guess who helped this young man put his broken heart together? The friend who broke the relationship up. Yes. 6 months after the breakup, our girl discovered that her friend was dating the boy she cut off.
Can you imagine?
And she's now bitter. The question I ask her is, now who caused them? We need to understand that those who come to us with stories about those who love us have their own agenda, and it is never for our good. We should be careful what we give ear to. We should be careful what we walk away from, especially if what is making us walk away is something someone has told us that we ourselves cannot verify. Who do you listen to? And what investment has that person made in your life? That is a question to ponder on anytime someone comes to you with apple. And I would just say that's my presentation for this morning.
Thank you very, very much. So don't always listen to Apo. When they give you the Apo, you must, ask yourself a few questions. I like this one, because people are destroying others, and sometimes we just don't pay attention. We just carry everything like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially those who come who give you information and say, but don't go and ask him. Have you experienced that kind of situation?
Oh, yes.
The person comes to tell you something about, let's say, Kujo. And then says, no, but please don't let him know I told you. Don't go and ask.
Well, I have a friend. Once you tell him that, the next moment he's picked his phone and called the other person and said, "Hey, are you the one who did this? This person told me." And then you start from there. Oh yes, you mention your name. So if you are going to him, know that he's going to mention your name. So just go and tell him
That's
the truth.
right.
That's all. Anyway, thank you very much, Uncle Whyte, for joining us with Food for Thought here on the Super